the best scholarship ever. And being here is quite a good privilege. In fact, we have much privilege that the ones who are not coming will not be able to get this opportunity. So I believe that as we proceed with this function, as I said earlier, because we'll bring a lot of captain industries, I'm sure your participation will be 100%. I'll need your ears. Yeah? Don't put one of your ear or your heart back at home. I want your 100% participation to make sure that at the end of the day, what we'll be discussing here, at least we get 1 or 2 or 3 to make sure that you don't go empty-handed. And I know we come also from different backgrounds. Huh? And as we are in this particular function all throughout the school, there's some information we are getting also from the school. You know, we know you are, the school also know you are sponsored. But surely, when you are in school, also make sure that you perform and you deliver. Remember, the society is looking up to you. As a bank, they're looking at your performance. And we want to make sure that everything is good and you perform well. I was surprised from our branch area. Quite a number of scholars, we normally agree to bring for us the report cards. You report to the branch before you go home. But some normally decide to go home first, then they come back to the branch after some times. We agreed during the selection process that once the schools are closed, you come directly to the branch with your uniform so that we're able to discuss the performance. And the reason why we are insisting this, I'm sure we'll give you the transport from school to the branch, isn't it? Eh? And then from the branch back home. And also from back home to the branch when you are coming for your shopping, and also from the branch to the school. So we are not demanding too much from you. Yeah? That's the minimum requirement that we expect you to do for us. I was looking at, the school was closed some couple of weeks ago. As at last week, I'm still receiving some report cards and wondering where some of the scholars, where were we? And I think we normally have got a lot of discussion about this. And the reasons I was getting were perplexing. Some went for the funerals because someone passed on somewhere. The performance is not good. To be able to help you, to make sure that you're able to perform and deliver. We'll find out reasons. Do you have good support? Do you have revision books? Could there be any other problem that you are facing so that we're able to help you to make sure that we're able to perform? So don't disappear. We'll encourage you to just come directly to the branch. We will support you. We'll look at areas you're not doing very well. We're able to support you to make sure that you're able to perform well. What have we also noticed also from some of us, You may have challenges in school. Either something happened, you are suspended or expelled. We have had cases like that. When a scholar is suspended or you are expelled from school. Remember your sponsors. And what I've seen, most of us, they just go and disappear at home. The term ends, we are not aware that we're not in school. Maybe you and your guardian and your parent, you're the only ones who are aware that you have been suspended. You're at home, you have not been in class. We may only notice after some several days, but remember, we have already paid for you the school fees, and yet you are at home. Please, if there's any problem, we said earlier, if you've got any problem at school, we request that you report to your branches to make sure that you're able to sort out any issues that may arise. We have had incidences whereby you take even a whole term being at home and we're not aware that you are at home. We only be able to aware after some times when the shopping, you are supposed to pick the shopping, you're not coming for the shopping. But we also noticed that some of us maybe even be suspended and they come for the shopping. But remember, before you do that one, we must see the report card first to make sure that we're able to support you those particular areas. So in case of anything at school, please, as well as you're able to report back home, you said you report back to the branch to make sure that we're able to make sure that things are working for all of us. I know it's a tough environment because we are standing, remember, we're also looking after you. If the performance is not good, these one things do not crush you. Because I've seen most of us when they know they have not performed, these things making them not come to the branch because the performance is not very good. We are only here to support you and we are not crushing you. We want just you to make sure that you are a good leader. You perform well so that you are able to achieve your best in school. Remember, your performance in secondary school will be very key in your career to be. For you to choose your career. If you want to be a doctor, you can only become a doctor when you perform well in the secondary school, because if you perform well in KCSE, I'm not very sure the target that you want to meet, you are going to meet it after the secondary school, because this is the basic where we are starting from. So if I know when we joined Form 1, we wanted to become doctors, we want to become engineers, we want to become architects, and for us to be able to achieve this one, this is the time and the opportunity that we'll be able to have. So when we ask you why the performance is not very good, we're not crushing you. We want to make sure that you perform, you deliver, and at the end of the day, all of us will be smiling. The sponsors will be smiling. Your parents will be smiling. Your guardians will be smiling. The entire fraternity will be smiling, and everyone will be happy when you perform. And you have seen, when the results normally come out, those who have performed well, they're lighter to carry. They're normally carried shoulder high. Yeah? We want also to carry you shoulder high once you perform. Will be our happiness to make sure that the minimum grade we have talked about, we are able to achieve those minimum grades. We normally also, as you go to school, there's a reason why we normally bring you here. We want to sharpen you. Because we're going to bring captains of the industry so that you're able to emulate and look at them. So as you are in school, we also want to see you take leadership in school. If there is any leadership that comes across in school, don't just sit so that others take. Remember the way we are training you here. By the time you go back, you want to use the same level of leadership. You're able to exhibit back in the school, take leadership. This one is going to help you sharpen your soul to make sure that even your performance will become much, much, much better. So anything that is in the school, the leadership programs that comes by, don't sit back. Will require you to be able to at least participate in those particular programs in school. I'm also aware there's also another co-curricular activities happening in school. Some of us are shying away to participate in them. Yeah, I'm very sure that academic only, For you to be able to make sure that academically you perform well, I'm very sure that those are the extracurricular activities that come by. If you are able to participate in them, it will help you most to make sure that whatever you want to achieve, you are able to achieve. So don't let it say others are, let them do that, and you only concentrate on one particular area. I want you to participate in all those particular areas because they're going to help us be able to sharpen your mind, because I'm sure once participating in these particular programs is going to help you. And these are the leadership I'm talking about when participating in these particular programs. So don't let these ones, you say, me, I'm not a good footballer. Yeah, you may never know that is your best talent. You may never know you are a best singer if you don't participate in this particular program. So make sure that these particular programs that are in school, you participate in them fully and 100%. You're able to identify your talents. You may never know the best talent that you may have. You may be the best singer and you're not aware. You cannot be able to light a candle. And immediately you light a candle, you put that candle below the table. Then it's not going to light the room. So we don't want you to light the candle and then you put it below the table. It's not going to light anywhere. What we also noticed since majority of you either coming from what I would say the humble background, your parents, your guardians are still very important to us, because remember, if they were not there to support you, you may not have reached where you have reached. You may not have scored the grade you scored. But because of the support they gave you, they're the ones who have made you to reach where you are. So we really need also to accord them respect they also deserve, because they'll still be able to take care of you as you grow. Yeah, as Equity Banks gives you this sponsorship, remember your parents are also have got a role to play to make sure that you're able to be fully accomplished. Your teachers, very important people in your life. And some of us, they fear teachers. And understand even the other teachers, like the mathematics, because some of us, they look at mathematics as a big problem. But what I can tell you in your career, maybe by the time you already done everything, you're passed, you've gone to university, you're looking for a job, the first thing that you will be asked mostly, what did you score in mathematics and English? Because those are core subjects. You may have scored well in other subjects, but if you not score well in those two areas, then it will be a very, very big challenge for you. Yeah? So this idea of us hating teachers, that ukiona mwalimu, unaona kama huyo ni adui. Ukiona mathematics teacher, unaona kama ni huyo ni adui. Please, let's be able to be friends, our teachers. If you are friends with the teachers, they're able to support you and they make sure that you perform well, because they want you to be able to perform and do well. As we also support you, I'm sure we normally also give you the cards. Those cards, we normally put some funds in them. And nowadays, when you go to the back of the branch, we withdraw money using the prepaid cards. And I'm sure majority of us, or all of us, have the cash, because we don't give you hard cash. We give you the cards, and then we load the cards with the cash. We want you to be prudent, because we want to start training you on how to use the bank accounts, because that's the way the bank accounts work. So we want to train you also on how to save. You spend wisely. You don't just spend everything. Make sure that you save so that you have got also enough money, because those monies are entitled to you. But we also encourage you to spend wisely. Don't be a spendthrift, because you know that next time another one will be coming. Yeah, so spend wisely. Some of you have seen cases whereby they have spent everything. They don't have enough even to come back the transport. So make sure that you have enough so that I'll be able to take care of you well. What you have also noticed, and what I normally get from most of the schools, majority of us have got, I don't know whether is it sleeping sickness or we have got less hours to sleep. We have sleeping sickness, isn't it? Huh? Or we don't get enough sleep at school. I'm being told we really sleep a lot. Go to class. If it is 45 minutes, for the first 15 minutes you are sleeping. I don't know whether even here you are sleeping, but I'm happy with this weather. Even if you had got a sleeping sickness, I'm sure you cannot be able to sleep now, isn't it? Huh? But when it comes to school, when it comes to class, we wake up at 3 o'clock, isn't it? Huh? And at 3 o'clock we are supposed to do the preps. But on the side, you go to the preps and you are sleeping. So why do you wake up early to go to sleep in class? You're able to spend more time sleep so that by the time you wake up, huh, you are able to have enough energy to be able to study, isn't it? Huh? So this issue of sleeping sickness, by the time you're able to finish, let me see the Form 4s. I want to see your hands by show of hands, the Form 4s. By show of hands, the Form 4. Thank you very much. Quite a number. By December, we are in April. How many months are remaining to December? 6 months, isn't it? Huh? So if you're able to sacrifice the next couple of months, denying yourself the sleep, making sure that you do proper revision, and then the arrears, the sleeping arrears you have had for the last couple of months, you are able to consume them in the month of December so that you don't have arrears. Will you have a problem? So those arrears, I want you to consume them in December. Yeah? Try your best. Remember, at the end of the exams, when the exams are done, you will have all the time that you want to be able to sleep. Yeah, so if you know you have got a sleeping sickness, we have got our teachers, we have got our prefects, and the people supporting us in case you have got any problem. Please, let's be able to, that one be discussed so that we don't suffer this one. There is normally that disease called sleeping sickness, isn't it? Huh? So you may be suffering from it. So if you also don't talk about it, then you may be sick and you are not aware. Sometimes you may be sick. It may not be because you are studying much. Maybe you have got a problem that needs treatment, okay? So that you're able to perform and deliver. So I'm really beseeching all of us. Let's just sacrifice. It's just a matter of few months and then that will be it. You'll get the best time that you want to sleep, maybe after that particular time. Some of us also fear libraries. I don't know why we fear libraries. Or we are so many we cannot be able to fit in the library. Let me surprise you. During the holidays, I'm sure even the ones who are in town, in Kisumu, do you know where the public library is? I want to see the scholars from Kisumu County. Can I see your hands? Can I see your hands? Have you ever stepped your foot in the local library? You have? Wow, I'm happy to hear that. These are the facilities that you are able to use while you are in holiday. There are so much books that you can be able to read from there. Because I know from home, it's normally very difficult to study at home, isn't it? Huh? Yeah, you wake up in the morning, you are supposed to do the house chores, you are supposed to do the cleaning, you are supposed to cook, you are supposed, your mama sometimes tells you to go to take care of their kiosk, isn't it? Huh? So the time of the study is normally not very, very easy. But if wherever you are coming from, maybe within a particular area you're coming from, I'm sure there are libraries everywhere. We can be able to use these libraries during the time we are at home so that we're able to study. Remember those environments of the libraries, those are the study environment. Once you go there, the place is quiet, people are reading. You know, it will encourage you to read, isn't it? Huh? You will be encouraged to read. You know, the environment itself is a reading environment. So once you go there, I'm sure you are going to read. Yeah? Even the assignments you have been given, you are able to finish them. Also, what we noticed when you go back to school, these assignments you're normally given to be able to work on. I've seen situations whereby by the time you go to school, there's normally cuts. Is it cuts? The cuts we normally do on the first day we go to school, isn't it? Huh? And before those cuts are done, you are given some reading materials to do. Please, we don't want situations where I was not able to read, I was not able to do this one, because those cuts are very important at the end of the day for you. So that your performance, because remember, it's an aggregate performance. So when you come to me with a report card, when a manager, I didn't do the first cut because I did not report in good time, I was not able to revise, and the cut, this was marked out of the cut. The first thing that we did when we opened the school. So make sure that these things are done in a good time. Some of us also really hate the teachers. Ukiona mwalimu, you take turn. Yeah? Ukiona mwalimu, the one you hate most, the subjects they normally run with, you hate most. Some of you disappear. Do you have got time to visit some of the teachers? Then you ask them, this particular concept I was not able to get. Can we be able to elaborate for me? Or can you be able to get time so that we're able to get me so that I'm able to learn this other concept? Yeah? So I want all of us to be able to be friends with the teachers. We don't want scenarios that your teacher is your best enemy or your worst enemy. Yeah? I want them to be your best friends, because they're going to help us. By the time you finish, they're going to support you, and all of us will be happy. As I close my opening remarks, I don't know how many knows the ego. We know an ego. What's the ego in your mother tongue? Just shout. The ego in your mother tongue. Just shout. Ego. Which one? Otenga. Another one. I've not heard the other ones. In your mother tongue, the ego. So all of us, those who know an ego, I want, by show of hands, if you know an ego, I want to see your hands. Remember, God blessed you with a hand. So if you don't know an ego, we are going to describe how an ego, what's an ego. Okay? Think all of us, they know ego. It's a bit of a story. And remember, the ego is different from any other bird. Ego, the way they behave, the way you look at them, they are not the same just like any other bird. Okay? And do you know why Equity Bank, we call this one wings to fly? Yeah? Because we looked at the ego. Ego has got wings. And wings enable the ego to fly and fly than any other bird. Okay? If you look at the wings to fly logo, you're able to see the wings there, isn't it? Huh? Now, eagles, they fly alone, isn't it? Huh? And as they fly alone, they don't fly in low altitudes. I'm sure you have never seen eagle flying within low altitudes, isn't it? Huh? They normally fly at a high altitude, isn't it? Huh? Very, very high. Yeah? And there's a reason why they fly at high altitude. There's no bird that fly at the highest altitude like eagles. Yeah? And the reason why they fly that very high, it means their vision normally is very, very sharp. Yeah? The vision of an eagle can be able to see an animal 5 kilometers away. If I talk about 5 kilometers away from here, I think even Luanda market will be nearer. They are able to see from that distance. So they have got the privilege to fly at a highest altitude, and their vision normally very good. And when they fly at that highest altitude, they're able to see, because they're able to see from that wide area. Because if you're flying at a high altitude of 5 kilometers, That is the high altitude. Then they're able to see far, much, 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 much wider. And that's what we want you to be like an eagle. We want you to fly very, very high. Yeah? We don't want to see you flying normally at the normal range, normal altitude, isn't it? Huh? We want to see you flying at the way the eagles fly. Because you are able to see far, isn't it? Huh? Because if you fly at the low altitude, I'm sure you're not to be able to see very far. That's why the eagles fly very, very high altitude, okay? Eagles are fearless. I don't know whether you have seen them, how they behave. After they have spotted an animal, the eagle wants to take. They are fearless. Whichever the size of the animal, once they've already set the sight, there is an animal they want to pick on the ground. The speed at which they swing is normally very, very high. They don't fear anything. Even if you come in between, they'll pass with you. Yeah? And the eagle will never miss. Imagine at the high altitude of 5 kilometers away, they have already identified a target. By the time the eagle reaches on the ground, just look at the speed at which the eagle normally moves. Yeah? That's the kind of people we want to see in you. The speedness of execution, or the speedness of performance, the speed of doing everything. It must be precise. Eagle never misses the target. Because you will be able to set the target you want to achieve. And those targets, when you look at them with the good eyes, with a good vision, and with well precision, you are not going to miss the target. Because eagles never miss their target. Because I'm imagining at that high altitude, the eagle misses the target. Most of them rarely misses the target. So you want to make sure that you don't miss your target. You want to be an eagle. Okay? During the weather like this, now it's cold, it is windy. Most birds right now, they are sheltering. Okay? Because it's cold. Isn't it? Huh? Eagle, this is their best time to enjoy life. For your information. Eagle, when there is storm, this is their happiest moment. Because they spread their wings wide. Okay? After they spread their wings wide, they use the storm to propel them high above. That's why they are flying high above than like any other birds. Because they enjoy the storm. So do you enjoy the storm? Do you enjoy the storm? So that you fly very high? Eagles enjoy the storm. They make them fly very high like any other bird. Because other birds fear the storm. When they see the storm, they hide. But eagles don't hide when they when they see the storm. So I don't want you to hide when there's a storm. I want you to follow, to use the storm to give you more energy to be able to perform. Because these ones are things that enable you to be able to work very hard. When the people are fearing, then you are doing what? You are facing the problem as an opportunity. That's what we are talking here about. Yeah? So don't look at a storm, all birds are now patching. Yeah? We are going to be killed. That's the best time the eagles normally enjoy their time. So I want you to be like an eagle, to make sure that you enjoy the storm. And when you're enjoying the storm, it makes things easier for you to be able to achieve. Because when things are difficult, go the opposite direction. Where do you want to go with the wind? Because if you go with the wind, it becomes a very big problem for you. Eagles don't eat dead meat. I don't know whether you have seen eagle eating dead meat. Which birds normally eat dead ones? Huh? Which ones? You know them. You know their names are even difficult, but there are very many. There's no eagle that will eat a dead animal. Eagle don't eat dead animals or dead or rotting meat. They don't. The reason why the eagles do not, they eat fresh ones, alive. They want to kill the one that is more succulent. That's what the eagles like. Yeah? So it means eagles don't look at the past. The past, your past may be difficult, isn't it? Huh? But your past may not be your decision, destination. Okay? The past may be difficult. That's why eagles don't eat dead meat. They look for fresh ones. So why do you look for fresh? Yeah? Because eagle does not look at the past. They look at the future. I know the past may be very difficult, where you have come from, isn't it? Huh? Home may be a lot of challenges at home. Sometimes maybe there's only one meal per day, maybe samba. If you are lucky, some may not have that. I'm sure even breakfast may be even a luxury, even at home. But this one should not be your destiny. Okay? That's why we are giving you, looking at ourselves, look like an eagle. So that the past should not be our future. We want to be totally different. Eagles are highly adaptable to change. They look at the environment at any given time. They look at whatever is happening at that high altitude. They are adaptable. They look at which other new thing can I be able to get. Because if they don't fly high, they're not able to get food because eagles don't fly within shorter range. They are highly adaptable. That's why they change very quickly. When they see something different, they behave differently. If they see an animal behaving differently, if it's a which animal they want to target. If they see a chicken, they behave differently. The way they treat a chicken may not be the same way they treat maybe hare, isn't it? Huh? They behave differently with the precision. Yeah? So they adapt depending on the animal they want to attack differently. Yeah? So you don't attack mathematics the same way you want to tackle English or or any other subject. Yeah? You approach those subjects differently so that you're able to perform. Okay? Eagles are very persistent. Yeah? Whatever the eagles want to achieve, they are persistent. Are we persistent ourselves? Do we believe you're going to pass mathematics? Those who are going to pass mathematics, I want to see your hands high. Very good. These ones are going to pass. May God bless you because I'm seeing your hands are very high. Yeah? If you are not persistent, persevere. It's just for a shorter period of time. I remember when we were doing selection some few years back. Do you think now the 4-4? Unaona kama 4 years imepita? Tunaona tu kama ni yesterday, isn't it? Huh? So the time is very, very short. It's not very, very long. The time is very, very short. Huh? So to make sure that we're able to perform. And what I want us to do is to spread our wings wide. Yeah? Don't have your wing, then you carve it. There's no difference of having a wing and that wing is not being used. Isn't it? Huh? If you're an eagle is not flying, it'll be just like a duck. Isn't it? Huh? There'll be no difference. So let's be able to use our wings to make sure that we're able to move high and high above the ground. So as we proceed with the program, I think you will stay around for the next 2.5 days. You're going to enjoy. We have the chaperones around, with the supporters around to make sure that all the things are working for us quickly and cooperate with them. And once we do that one, it's going to help us be able to make sure that the couple of days, few days that will be here, we're able to get things 100%. I'll be with you throughout the day to make sure that the things are working. As the presenters also become, we'll bring them as they come to make sure that they give presentation. And I'm sure there'll be either questions that you also may want. We'll be able to give you some piece of paper. So what we shall do to make things working, because we are very many, in case you have got a question, after we have given you those writing materials, there's some, I know you don't have pens, isn't it? Huh? And some of us have pens. Huh? We don't have, isn't it? Huh? Yeah, you know, because I'm standing, I'm able to see. We are going to make those arrangements to make sure that we give you that and also some writing materials. So in case you have any question, you just take a small piece of paper. You just write any question or any comment that you're able to, because we cannot be able to participate all of us, isn't it? Huh? Unaandika tu chini, then you give to the chaperone. Once you give the chaperone, we are able to look at it, then we share together. I think that will be easier for us, huh? So that the time is also well managed. We don't want to spend a lot of time here there. With those remarks, I want to welcome Trevor so that we prepare the next presenter, whom I think has arrived. So that we want to move very, very quickly. We want to keep time this, and if it is time for tea, we'll be going for tea, isn't it? Huh? If it's time for lunch, imefika, we want to make sure that we manage time. I'm sure some of you, when you go to the bank, normally you see the bank is open at 8 o'clock, isn't it? Huh? If you come by 7:59, you will find the door still not yet opened, isn't it? Huh? We close the doors at 4:30. If you come at 4:31, are you able to enter? So the way we normally keep time from our work environment, we're also going to make sure that we also keep time the same, because we have very good timekeepers to make sure that things are working for us. Otherwise, I wish you the best for the couple of days that we'll have. And as we continue, any other problem, the chaperones are here going to support us here and there to make sure that our stay here will be perfect. Otherwise, thank you very much. Back to you, Trevor, so that we pray for the next presenter. Thank you.
Thank you, Javan. Tumpigie makofi once again. Thank you very much, Mr. Javan. As I initially indicated, that if you checked our last year's topic for Congress, power of purpose, aligning values and leadership, and this year's Congress is educate, empower, lead, the Triad to success. Last year when we had the annual Equity Leaders Program meeting in Nairobi and different campuses across the country, Dr. James Mwangi indicated two things. That this scholarship was not about education. This scholarship was about leadership. And Dr. James Mwangi in his speech said that he never wanted to leave any leader behind. And I want to encourage us that to be abide by these topics of these congresses. In these countries, in this country, and even across the globe, and even Africa, we have had bright leaders, but they are rogue. Bright, rogue leaders. Sindio? Yes. We have had bright but rogue leaders. Bright leaders who mislead a generation. They mislead the upcoming generation. We have leaders who complain to the upcoming generation. But from this Congress, ladies and gentlemen, we want to raise leaders who will be a solution to the next generation. We will be a solution to our country, Kenya, to Africa. I think I stand to be corrected, Mr. Javan. When this program was started, the scholarship was only in Kenya. But the badge was for the whole Africa. The badge for the wings to fly was for the whole Africa. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, Equity Leaders Program. We have Equity Leaders Program in the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC Congo, and Rwanda, if I'm not wrong, and other parts of Africa. And we do not only have Equity Leaders Program in those countries, but even Equity Bank branches in those countries. Tukimpigia Equity Bank makofi. And therefore, Allow me remind you of this. During last year's Equity Leaders Program, there were closing remarks by Dr. James Mwangi, and I picked something from him. He talked, but when he was about to finish, Dr. James Mwangi said, "You are the better version of myself. I have done my part, and I leave the rest to you. You are a better version of myself. I have mentored you, and I hope we pick something from this Congress as we will be going to our different destinations. And not only that, we need a solution for this country and Africa and even our globe at large as leaders. We are living in a country where when it rained, buses are swept by flood in the capital city where we all brag about, Nairobi. The solutions of all these are here with us. As we sit here, we need to find solution to the flooding of this country. The number of those who have died or the deaths that are caused by the flood are unaccounted. Those who are coming from Kano area can tell you, the scholars from Kano area, they can tell you if you meet one or two. And I hope that you will not eject from this system, go to the university, you get your job, and your children will be swept by floods. Your grandchildren will be swept by floods. These are things I want to urge us as leaders to be taking roles and to find solutions to them. I want to encourage us to take every opportunity to learn from the guests that will be coming here. Sawa sawa. And therefore, I will request all of us to toe hizo mavins tumeva because we are currently live. Kindly, all the mavins and the capes, kindly, to toe. And at this point, allow me invite Mr. Ivan Sainga, Mentoring Field Coordinator Lower Nyanza, and the Hosting Mentoring Field Coordinator. Tumpigie makofi. Karibu sana Mr. Ivan Sainga. Tumpigie makofi hadi afike. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live on YouTube on Alpha Lenses. Thank you. Karibu sana Mr. Ivan Sainga.
All right, thank you very much, Trevor. Good morning. How are we today? Good. I'm happy to hear that. It's yet another day, and as I told you yesterday, we are going to have very key speakers talking to us. I can see some of them are still arriving. And I want to encourage you to be very attentive as you were advised yesterday. I just want to talk to you briefly about mentorship. The reason why we are here today, this is actually the epitome of our mentorship program. So what you are partaking today is part of our mentorship program. But specifically today, I'm going to talk to you about mentorship in schools. Mentorship in schools. We realized as a program that it is one thing to award you scholarship It is one thing to pay school fees. It is one thing to pay for your shopping, but it is yet another thing altogether for you to be able to actually achieve the program objectives. And that is why mentorship becomes very pivotal and very relevant even to the theme of this Congress today, which is to educate, to empower, to lead the triad to success. What do you understand by the word triad? Any student? I just want to see whether we are attentive. Anybody who can tell me what you understand by triad? Just give it at random to one student. I want to see the kind of people that we are having today before I talk about mentorship in schools. Yeah, I want to see the English students. Patia tu mwanafunzi yoyote tu hapo tu. Just give any student at random. At random. Yes.
I think the triad to success, I don't know it exactly, but I think it's rather the path or the way to success with my thoughts. That's my opinion.
Clap for him for trying. Yeah, but I'm specifically interested in the word triad. I'm just doing a short question, just to see whether you understand. What do you mean by triad? Triad, triangle. What do you understand with what does tri means?
Three things.
Trio. Sindio? Thank you very, very much. I think let's not take much time. Clap for yourselves. So we are saying the theme of this Congress, we are focusing on 3 aspects, which is number 1, to educate you. And you need to ensure, as I told you yesterday, ensure that really you don't just go through school, but school gets into the fiber and core of your life. Right? Because you can go through a system, but it's yet another thing altogether for us, the system to go through you or to get into you. So one aspect that we want you to really incorporate in this Congress, we are saying education. Make sure that you make good use of the opportunity such that you are able to be enlightened, you receive information, and we normally say information is power, isn't it? Information is in power. We are saying we also want to empower you. This session today is actually also to empower you. Being empowered with information, and the information, that's why it is very different from the classroom setup, where you receive information about subjects or units. Today, we are taking a different approach, and we are going to talk to you about matters affecting your life in totality, so that you can be empowered. And again, part of being empowered, you see today you are seeing chaperones around, right? We are giving them the opportunity to be able to lead, to practice, to exercise that which they also received during their 4-year tenure in high school. They have been through this program that you're going through today. They were able to excel, And now they are in the institutions of higher learning, and they have come to give back to society. They have come to give direction. They have come to exercise the potential that they have received and to nurture leadership qualities. And that is part of empowerment. Empowerment, we want to ensure that we give you all the opportunities to be able to exercise your leadership capabilities and potential. And then we want you to lead. We also give opportunities for leadership. And we encourage our scholars to take up leadership responsibilities, even in schools. That is just a brief introduction about our theme. But as I said, I want to talk about mentorship in schools. Our mentorship program is anchored on 5 major pillars. The mentorship that we do in schools derives its mandate and authority from 5 pillars. And the foundational pillar, what do you understand by pillar? A pillar is a support beam. You know, when you are constructing a house, right? Or when you are constructing a structure, you lay the foundation, isn't it? And once you've laid the foundation, and then you will see some structures, some support, beams coming up. And that is what we call pillars. They are usually vertical in nature. Those are pillars. The dome where we are sitting today. Anyone who can identify a pillar? Can somebody show me a pillar? Yes, I can see all of you are pointing at that. That is a pillar. So a pillar supports the whole structure, isn't it? It is a pillar that gives strength to the structure, to the house. Today, scholars, I want you to know that you are the house that is being built. And you need to build that house based on our pillars. Because through research, we have found out that if you are going to incorporate these pillars in your life, then you will indeed realize your full potential. You will indeed succeed in life. Without pillars, then a structure can easily collapse, isn't it? Without the pillars, without you incorporating the pillars in your fiber, in your system, then even your vision can be thwarted. Your dreams and aspirations can be thwarted. And that is not the direction we want you to take. So our foundational pillar is number 1, academic excellence. Academic what? Academic what? Academic excellence. When we are conducting mentorship in schools, we usually develop content that we share with you, and I believe majority of you, if not all, but I want to believe all of you are beneficiaries of the mentorship programs. We usually develop content that we share with you, and it is that content that is delivered, and that particular content derives its mandate from the 5 pillars that I'm talking about today. Academic excellence, the very reason why you are selected into this program is number 1, because you met a certain threshold, a certain minimum you are able to achieve. I want to say you are able to go beyond the average, which means we saw potential in you as scholars. And it is that potential, that academic excellence, that ushered you into this program in the first place. Leave alone the other parameters that we usually consider. But as you know, academic excellence is very, very foundational, very pivotal. It It is our desire and expectation that you are going to sustain that academic excellence throughout your academic lifetime, throughout your high school. Because there is no reason why you should excel at primary, and then when you get to high school, then you begin to demonstrate or to try to convince us that you never had the potential. We will not believe that. Right? We believe you have the potential and you are able to nurture that potential and even make it better day by day. As time progresses, we always anticipate improvement. And so, we really value academic excellence, and we encourage you to continue pursuing that even in schools, so that at the end of the day, you can be able to compete in the global space. Our mentorship program, based on this pillar, is to ensure that you reach a level where you can be able to compete at the global arena. You cannot compete in the global arena unless you excel academically. You receive information. You exhibit knowledge. Right? Academic excellence. Number 2, we want you to incorporate your life with values. So our second pillar is living a value-centered life. Live a value-centered life. You may be good in books, but if you lack values and morals, scholars and friends, then your aspirations will be short-circuited. You may excel, but we don't want you to later on, once you have excelled, then you want to hack the IT systems of the government. You are an IT expert, but you are taking the wrong direction. You want to hack the systems of the government. You are very busy creating viruses. You are very busy sending phishing messages. Can give you their personal information and then able to harvest money from them. That is not the direction we want you to follow. We want you, at the end of the day, with the knowledge that you will receive, make sure society. You are nation builders. You are people who are making the world a better place to be. Value-centered life. Lack of values at times a job. But if you lack values, you may not survive even in that job. Because you will lack integrity. When you lack integrity, boss will dismiss you. You see, without values, then you cannot be able to achieve your aspirations in life. The third pillar that we endeavor to achieve in you operate is what we call transformative leadership. Transformative what? Transformative what? We want to build leaders of tomorrow. You are the future leaders. And the first two pillars that I've mentioned, if you are going to focus on them, then automatically you will become a leader. Because leadership is not just about a title. We encourage you when you are at school to take up leadership positions, be the school captains, class representatives. It is an opportunity for you to begin to exercise your leadership capabilities. you are highly encouraged. But remember, in any setup, probably you can only have one school captain at a time, isn't it? And you can only have one class representative at a time. Is that a reason for you not to exercise leadership capacities? I want to say no. Leadership is not just about titles, but it's about the ability to influence and command followership in the positive direction. And how do you command followership? How do you command authority? It's when you have information, you are educated, you are doing well in class, you are excelling academically, and you augment that with values. When you have values and academic excellence puts you in a position where everybody wants to live the way you live. Everybody admires you. And that is the power of influence I'm talking about. You can be a leader without a title based on the information you have and the values, the principles that govern your life. And I'm talking about values influencing people in the positive direction. If you're excelling academically and you're leading fellow students to riot and strike, then you are not a leader. Right? You are leading other students to burn down the dormitories, then you are not a leader. But if you are excelling academically and you have values, you have obedience. Obedient to the community, to your leaders, to the parents. Law-abiding citizens. You will not be at loggerhead with anybody. Then somebody will say, I want my daughter or my son to be like so and so. Right? Wakati wengine, their sons are sagging trousers, wearing caps back, facing backwards. You can't even go to an interview like that. Can you go to an interview wearing jeans, sagging jeans, with your cap backward, facing backwards? Who will give you a job? If that is how you are living and you are walking there, are you a leader? Somebody will look at you and say, I don't want my son to be like that. I don't want my son to be like that. So have values, have integrity, discipline, hard work. Be reliable, be dependable. And that is the way to become a leader even without having a title. And yes, indeed, opportunities will come. Even organizations later on, when they are looking for a leader, they will say, if there is anybody to entrust with these resources, the government, nations, the society is so much in dire need of reliable people. People whom when they are entrusted with responsibilities, we will not hear about scandals. We will not hear about corruption, embezzlement of funds. Society is looking for people like you. You are the leaders in the making. And that's why I'm insisting, academic excellence, have information, have knowledge, but also have values. Then you are a leader automatically. They will say, if there is anybody to entrust with this responsibility, then I say, Judith is the one to entrust. Or Abraham is the one to entrust. Because they have looked at you and they are seeing leadership qualities in you. The fourth pillar, as I'm about to bring it to a close, the fourth pillar that I want to talk about is the culture of giving back. Have a culture of giving. I thank God and I thank the chaperones. They are here. The chaperones, they are giving back to society. They are here to guide you as students as a way of giving back. The culture of giving back will make you relevant. Will make you what? Will make you relevant and impactful. Will make you relevant and impactful. The culture of giving back. People will always remember you for what you did when you were alive. The impact, they will not remember many other things, but they will remember the impact that you created in their lives. And I'm saying, having a culture of giving back, remember, you are beneficiaries of an act of give back. Right? Yes, somebody has given back. Some institutions have given back to society, and that is why you have this scholarship program. We expect you to reciprocate that. And how do you reciprocate? By having a culture in the fiber and core of your life, a culture of giving back. In your communities, we expect you now to be able to give back to society, to your communities. And acts of giving back, they can begin from very simple steps. I know at some point later on, you will have an opportunity to plant trees. That is a way of giving back. Environmental conservation. The late Professor Wangari Maathai started a very, very powerful movement called the Green Belt Movement. And she started to rally women and communities to plant trees. And it became so powerful that the same was adopted across Africa, and they were able to plant over 30 million trees. And look, she was recognized, and she won the Nobel Peace Prize. And right now, you may be aware, and if you're not aware, I'm bringing it to your attention that the global world currently is talking so much about climate change. Climate change has become a very topical issue. And so, we are going to be people who can protect by giving back, by planting trees later on in this program to protect our habitation, our environment. You protect the environment will take care of you. Right? Have a culture of give back. When you go back at home, make sure parents and guardians with the household chores, the duties around, make sure you participate. Don't be the person once you are going home, you're at home, maybe during holiday, you are just, a busybody, just walking around, wandering around. That is the time you want to visit every Tom, Dick, and Harry. People who do not add value to your life. Make sure that you engage in constructive activities, giving back to society. Have a culture of giving back. In mentorship in schools, we encourage the BMC clubs, the Best Me clubs, to participate in giving back, planting trees, visiting children home, donating certain items at your level. In one school I attended mentorship, and I was told they decided in their Best Me club to contribute little money, and they supported a fellow student to pay some little school fee as a way of giving back. You don't have to give a 1 million. You can even give little coins, but it goes a long way in impacting life as a way of giving back. If you cannot practice that at your lower level, then you cannot convince me that later on, even if you become a millionaire or successful, then you will be able to give back. No, you begin today. Lastly, the last pillar, we want to sensitize you on issues about gender. As I'm finishing Triva, issues about gender. There has been a lot of gender stereotyping that has made some people not to pursue certain areas or certain careers. We are saying gender biases and prejudice can sometimes act as an impediment, especially if it is ingrained in your society, ingrained in your mind. Then it can thwart the very vision or dream that you have in life. We are here to sensitize you as part of our mentorship to know that irrespective of your gender, you can be able to achieve your full potential. Whether male or female, sometimes people have thought that girls are not good at STEM subjects. That is science, engineering, mathematics, and so on and so forth, technology. has been thought as a male-dominated domain. But I'm here to tell you that part of our mentorship is to sensitize you and to let you know that you can, whether you are male or female, pursue the career that you want. It is not about the prejudice that society has placed in your mind, but it's about the equal opportunities that we all have to pursue our aspirations and dreams. As a girl, female student, you can be able to excel in mathematics. You can be able to excel even in, we need even female engineers. As I leave you, at one time there's a feature that was featured in the news, in the television, about a welder, a female welder. How many people, normally we think that welding you only find a man, isn't it? But there was a female welder, and the product of our workmanship was so fine, so qualitative, that after the presentation, phone calls were ringing. Everybody wanted to acquire the doors, the products from that female welder. You can imagine. So it is not about only male can be able to do this. No. You can pursue whatever you are passionate about. We all have equal opportunities. And these are the aspects we want to sensitize you about. I know as time goes by, we'll be able to delve deeper, but those are the foundational pillars that govern our mentorship in schools. Thank you very, very much. Trevor, back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Evan Sainga. Asante sana, tumpigie makofi. Thank you very much, Mr. Evan Sainga, to your dedication to the Equity Group Foundation and to these scholars. Mr. Evan Sainga is our mentoring field coordinator, Lower Nyanza region. Tumpigie makofi tena. At this point, Form 4 and Form 3 scholars, allow me invite Madam Francisca Adika to take us through the next session. Tumpigeni makofi. Welcome, Madam Francisca. Tumpigeni makofi hadi afike. Let's clap. I encourage us to continue clapping. Karibu sana.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, all. Good morning. How are you this morning? How many of us are happy? I'm also happy to meet such a large number of our future generation. Tomorrow I'm called Francisca Dika. I work with Equity Group Foundation, Agriculture Pillar. Mtu anashanga agriculture. How many take agriculture as a subject now? Wow, wow, wow. How many take agriculture? Just look at the way there are very many. Wow, wonderful. Congratulations. I like agriculture. How many like agriculture? Oh, yes. So today I'm just here to let you know of the disciplines that we have in agriculture and how agriculture is important for us. I did agriculture. I am doing agriculture. I'm practicing agriculture. Why agriculture is so important to us, students, is one thing to note is that nobody can survive without food. By the way, who can survive without food? How many can survive without food? So we want to put you somewhere for the next 3 days without food, if you can really survive. Wangapi wamekubali tuwaweke mahali 3 days without food? You are trying me. You are trying me. So agriculture is all about food, what makes us our beings to be in good condition, our health, and our beings to be is what we call agriculture. It touches on various things, and please may you put up the presentation. Yeah. We want to talk about career insight in agriculture related courses, careers. And these agriculture related careers, some of us might not know. I might take agriculture, but I don't know what comes about with agriculture. So I just want to briefly tell the students, our loved scholars, that we have various things that comes, and what comes into your mind when we talk agriculture is what I've just asked you. It is food. Whatsoever we eat on the table comes from soil. So whenever you are taking these careers of agriculture, let us be prepared that we have to touch on what? On soil. And then for food to be on the table, there is somebody somewhere who made his hands dirty to get that food. So, but I've not said that all of... So, not at all that everything related to agriculture is bad or is about touching soil. It is about because all the things that are related to comes from soil. And then agriculture has got very many careers, not only one. Next. Yeah, the next slide again. What do you see in the next slide? Various. The next one. What do you see there? Somebody touching soil. We see a very big greenhouse. We see somebody carrying a djembe. That are all associated with agriculture. Sawa sawa. Even for this one in greenhouse, there is somebody who transported soil for it to be in these tubes where the agriculture is being done. So agriculture, when you do agriculture, it is not a must that you have to be employed. It is not a must that you have to be in an office, but what matters so much is how you are going to use agriculture to improve your life. I know most of you are having even parents who are agriculture oriented, who are just doing agriculture as a source of income. The next slide. What is agriculture? No, that is noise. What is agriculture? Agriculture is an art, it is a science, and it is a practice of farming. How is it art? It embraces the knowledge of the way to perform the operations of the farm in a skillful manner. We now learn to do it in a skillful way, in a way that is that can help us do and have a clean food at the table. For us to have a clean food, it begins right from the first day of plowing the farm. The second one is a science utilizes all technologies developed on scientific principles such as crop and livestock breeding, production techniques, crop protection, economics, etc., to maximize the yield and profit. So, agriculture is also a profit-making business. It is a practice because it is done in a certain way to give a certain result. So, agriculture is also a business. Studying agriculture at a degree, college level will equip you with a combination of skills and knowledge on farming practices, practice sustainable environmental management, food production, and more. So agriculture as a discipline combines various types of different. It is an art, it is a science, and we are going to see there involved how it is an art, how it is a science. Next slide, please. If you look at our East African community, agriculture is the most important sector. However, regardless, we have very small farms, but still it feeds a multitude. Look at your grandma or your mother in the village producing in a quarter an acre of land, and this lady produces soybeans, which feeds even those who are in Nairobi. Agriculture is so much important. When we had COVID-19, all other sectors was closed. The sector that was moving during that time was only food sector, food industry, which is agriculture. So whenever we view agriculture, let us not view it as something that makes our hands dirty, something that is not giving us value. Agriculture is one of the East African most important sectors, with about 80% of population of the region living in rural areas and depending on agriculture for their livelihood. The sector accounts for 25 to 40% of regions' gross domestic product, and it is leading employer for over 80% of population in the region. That is how agriculture is very important to our country and even East Africa as a whole. More than 70% of industries in East African community are agro-based and depend on agriculture as the main source of raw materials. It is a foreign exchange earner. Agriculture commodities constitute 65% of the volume of inter-regional trade in East African community. The sector is also the main driver of non-agricultural economy, including manufacturing, providing inputs, markets for non-agricultural operations, such as building and construction, transportation, tourism, education, and other social services. So when we look at agriculture, don't look at it with a narrow mind. Look at how many people believe in the villages. They depend wholly on agriculture. And as they depend wholly on agriculture, thus their small-scale production reaches our various towns. So I ever tell people that there are some things that you can never miss when you go to even the 10th floor in Nairobi or 20th floor in any building in Nairobi. That is Sukuma. Hello? Unakosa Sukuma 10th floor in Nairobi? In that biggest building. You can never. And ugali. And there are some things in reality that we cannot go about. So, when we talk of agriculture, look at how that somebody in the village feeds the biggest. The next slide, please. We have the branches in agriculture. It is a subject. This subject is unique in that it combines several disciplines such as science, economics, business for a multifaceted approach. There is a lot of variety within the field. You can explore different topics depending on your interests. We have agronomy. Agronomy deals with soil management and growing of crops. When you want to know how are these things happening in a greenhouse? How can plant grow in a greenhouse? That one you will study agronomy. Horticulture deals with cultivation of fruits, vegetables, and ornamental crops. Why do we find that when we look at oranges, we have that one which is very bitter when you taste. There is some which is very sweet when you taste. We have different types of mangoes. Why are some mangoes so small? Why are some so big? Why are some so sweet? Why are some so like this? That one is all, if you do horticulture, you will understand and know. We also have agricultural engineering. Agricultural engineering involves knowledge of farm machines and equipments. It also deals with developing new systems and practices to address problems facing agriculture. Another branch of agriculture is agricultural economics, deals with business end of the farming. This one deals with can a farmer know that at the end of every season I've made a profit? When I have a cow that is lactating for 9 months, and you know our sisi hapa hatuna cows nzuri sana, lakini we have the cows zenye wanatoa maziwa. Kuna cows zenye watoi maziwa, kuna cow yenye wanatoa pesa, na kuna wale wenye watoi pesa. Hello? Wangapi wanakamua nyumbani? Beba mkono nione. So it will depend na ile ng'ombe ambao unakamu. Kuna ile ng'ombe yenye ukakamua anasema Saming! Unakamua kama all your teeth is out. Saming! Lakini kuna kao ile yenye ukikamua inasema aluf 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 aluf. Nani ameshaona hizo kao mbili? So it depends with the cow yenye unataka kufanya nini. So that is the goodness of having agriculture. You can get the little or you can get the big one that you have. So at the long that agricultural economics will calculate in big farms. We know the big farms that does what we call that does production in agriculture, like Brookside, which is having very many cows, and they do milk production in large time. You buy those milk when you come. Look at KCC. Who is going to tell KCC team that we are making profit? That one we call agricultural economics team. Then we have animal science for you to know how grading of the animals, how these eggs is white, the other one is yellow. Those ones we all get in animal science. Next slide. So those are the degree and diploma courses. There are very many. There are some which we haven't concluded. We have Bachelor of Veterinary Medicine. This is somebody who is going to lead the life of the animals. You, like any doctor doing a clinical medicine person, is learning on how to be a medic on a human being. When you are a veterinary medicine, you are going to learn the life and of the animals, all of them. How you can even operate an animal, that one is a discipline in agriculture. We also have a BSc Agricultural Biotechnology, how you combine genes so that you get what you want. Agroecosystem and environmental management, business agro. Hydroponics farming, diploma in general agriculture. We also have diploma in health. We have diploma in dairy technology and all the rest. Next slide. Where can an agriculture degree take you? All those food system is very broad and is very big. Agriculture food systems are defined as totality of activities, people, institutions, and natural resources, land, water, and air, involved in supplying population with food and agricultural products. So it is a very wide area. You can never fit it, but we thank God that we are here. The next generation will help us to move on and have it. It involves waste recovery in food production, in processing, in distribution, retail and marketing. All these things are involving where you are degree course can take you. Where can agriculture degree take you? You can work in government. The next slide. You can work in government, you can work in insurance companies, you can develop in a development sector, research, economics, to universities, engineering field, scientists, agrochemical companies, export company, veterinary medicine, biotechnologists, environmentalists, farm management and farming. Apart from even you can self-employ yourself. When you have learned it, you come and do it on your own. Very few days we'll be looking at the youth who have embraced agriculture as something that they learned in college, and they are implementing, and that is the way they are earning their living. And you will find that when a youth is involved in this, the way he presents himself and the way he does it is in a very different scale from that native person who never went to school. So as you study it, know that it is something that can give you to be self-employed and even employ others. Because at times it will reach where you cannot do it yourself. You have to bring other people to help you do it. Next slide. What is the future of agriculture? The future of agriculture is that population continues to grow in Africa. And Africa is the fastest growing region in the world, with 2.2 billion people expected by 2050. And more than 4 billion by 2100. I'm at 2100. Yeah, so what do we say? Africa is the second fastest urbanizing region around the world. After Asia, we shall expect change in food demand, including markets and distribution systems. Africa also has witnessed a significant growth of its youth population over the last decades, with 70% of the population aged below 30, a medium age of 18.3%, and 226 million people aged between 15 and 24. Africa has the highest population in the world. What population need is food. Nobody can survive without food. Only the people who carry their hands, I'm going to put them somewhere for 3 days. When we are here, when their people are going to serve, they remain here because they want to live without food. So nobody can live without food. So let us ensure to see that when this population moves and grows, what they need is food. So we are better placed to offer that gap that might appear. The increase in the density of rural population in most of the sub-Saharan Africa countries is exerting increasing land pressure and deeply affecting agricultural systems. So we need people, we need youths who are going to come up with technologies that are able to do what? That are able to move our country to get the sustainable ways of getting food to meet the demands of the increasing population. The next slide. It is going to be about natural resource use efficiency. You have to use, how will I use water in efficient way, soil health, biodiversity, circulatory and regenerative agriculture, renewable energy, climate smart agriculture. It is going to be about crop livestock integrated system, building sustainable crop livestock mixed systems and ensuring that they work in tandem. It is going to be about leveraging technologies, micro irrigation technology, use of satellite technology, digital enablement, market connections, financial distribution, and shared economy. For us to help this growing population, it is going to be about human resource, pipeline of talent food producers, increasing participation, attracting and diversifying away. It is also going to be about new connections, find a balance between what is good for the global agricultural sector and what is good for agricultural systems. So we need innovators who is going to help us to innovate ways of feeding the growing population that grows day by day. Next slide.
Thank you very much, Francisca Dika. Tumpigeni makofi tena. Thank you. At this point, allow me welcome the team from Equity Afya. Michelle, kindly. The team from Equity Afya. Tuwapigeni makofi. Tuwapigeni makofi hadi wafike.
Good morning, everyone. This is a medical team from Equity Afya. My name is Michelle Carlos. I'm a nurse. Nimekuja na colleague. She'll introduce herself.
Good morning, everyone. Okay, my name is Lynette Kachi from Equity Afya, Kisumu.
Anaitwa Lynette Kachi, Equity Afya, Kisumu. She's also a nurse, Kisumu branch. So today we're going to save on time. We're going to talk about personal hygiene. And I want it to be an interactive process. Okay. Mnajua personal hygiene? So who can tell me what personal hygiene is? Tuharakishe kidogo. Anyone a volunteer? What is personal hygiene? Pick randomly. Yes, go ahead.
So personal hygiene is about our body, how we make ourselves clean, and the food that we take should be clean. That's all about it.
Thank you.
Personal hygiene is a way of preventing yourself from getting contagious infection.
Thank you. So we can define personal hygiene in different aspects, but basically personal hygiene is keeping your body clean to prevent you from getting infection. It's also being careful not to cough or sneeze on others, cleaning things that you touch if you're unwell, putting items such as tissues into a bin and using protection like gloves or condoms when you might be at risk of catching an infection. Sawa. You're laughing because I've mentioned condoms. Yes, that is meant to protect you from STIs and getting unwanted pregnancies. Sawa. But I believe at this age you're abstaining because that is what we're focusing on. You're still school going. Na soko ni chafu. Sawa. Yes. So how can we keep ourselves clean? Kama leo asubuhi mmeamka mkafanya nini? No, not... I want you to tell me in details. Pick someone mwenye anatuambia venye yeye anajieka msafi. It's an easy question. Just tell me what you did today morning when you woke up.
Brushing teeth.
Thank you. How many times are you supposed to brush your teeth in a day?
After every meal.
Okay, after every meal is okay, but is it possible tukiwa shule? Sawa. So ideally, wacha tuseme you should brush twice a day, and you should change your toothbrushes when you get ill or 3 times a month, after every 3 months. Ukipata homa, ukikuwa na any infection, sometimes you might be wondering why you get reinfected after every maybe a month or 2 weeks. Ni juu haumbadilishi toothbrushes. Sometimes umebeba that infection, you're carrying it to the next session. Like umetibiwa this month, the next month you're also getting sick due to the same infection because you don't change your toothbrushes. So it's advisable, mbadilishe toothbrush. Sawa. And then you go for dental checkups every 3 months. That is also necessary. And I also want to talk about The most important thing, I think, feminine and masculine hygiene. Wasichana, how do you keep yourselves clean? I want to be particular on the females and the males. Sawa. So anybody who can tell me anything specific about female hygiene or genitalia, the infections you get? Anyone? Feminine hygiene or masculine hygiene? Niambie tu what you do, and then we'll discuss it from there. Mnaogopa kuongea?
Watu wa nyuma? Any lady?
Okay, let's make it simple. Let me ask a question and then you can answer. Sawa. What are the conditions you can get from poor hygiene? Conditions you can get from poor hygiene? Okay, wacha nianzie the common one. People get, niliona last time we were having females who had candidiasis. Candidiasis is your females feeling itchiness and you have whitish discharge from your vagina. Most of you are suffering from that. And do you know how it comes about? Mkishaoga, mnyamazi. You'll ask questions later. We'll have time for your comments. When you take a shower, for the females or even males, let me start from the females. When you take a shower, si mnaoga from kichwa. So you're supposed to take a shower. The hidden parts ni armpits and the genitalia. Si mnajua genitalia? The vagina, vajayjay. So, ukioga, don't use very strong scented soaps. Alafu mkioga, that place only needs water. It has its own good bacteria that's called lactobacilli. That's meant to protect the area from infections. So ukienda kuoga and then you do inaitwa vaginal douching, unasugua na sabuni, it's not supposed to be like that. Just wash it with water, clean water. Hiyo peke yake imetosha. Msisugue na sabuni sana, like you'll have itchiness. When you do that, you take away the good bacteria that's meant to protect the area. Okay. So that's why I'm requesting you, wasichana mwoge safi, but just use water for the area. Sawa. For the males, those who are uncircumcised, should I talk about it or not? Wacha niache hiyo. Sawa, just a statement on that, okay? For the uncircumcised guys, you just pull the foreskin back and then you clean it gently. Sawa, because it harbors oil, sweat, nini, inajificha huko ndani. So utashangaa unanuka na unadhani ni kitu ingine, but ni wewe tu hujaoga. So that's it. So benefits of good personal hygiene, it boosts your confidence. Unapata mtu ana sweat, akienda kusalimia hata mrembo mahali, unaona tu dem anarudi nyuma hataki kukuongelesha. Maybe ni juu na sweat. So watu waoge. Take a shower twice a day. Make sure you change your beddings. Msipate scabies and bed bugs. Make sure you also change your uniform and underwears. And I would advise for the ladies and the guys, wear cotton panties and cotton boxers. Sawa, it absorbs sweat, so it will prevent from so many things like embarrassment. Your self-esteem will go down. Make sure you take a lot of water. It also helps with preventing UTI. Kukunywa maji mingi. I know some of you have UTI. Maybe you're just embarrassed. It's not sexually transmitted. You can pick it from the toilet. If the toilets are dirty, maybe you can so it splashes back. That could give you a UTI. So take a lot of water. And the symptoms of UTI actually, wacha niseme hiyo kidogo so that you know you don't have, wengine I know mnaogopa mnadhani mko na some serious reproductive conditions. Frequent urination, discharge, PV discharge, pervaginal discharge, that is what I mean. Kuna low abdominal pain, frequent urination, especially at night. We also have itchiness of the vagina, and males also have it, by the way. I know for guys, inaweza kuja pole pole. You might not be able to see it at an earlier stage, but if you have any discharge, any sort of itchiness, urethral, make sure you talk to someone. Some of you are embarrassed to talk to your parents or guardians or friends or sisters. Make sure you talk to them, open up to them and tell them whatever you're feeling. Don't wait until it's too late, because kama UTI, if it advances, it causes something called pelvic inflammatory infection in disease that can later on advance to primary infertility. So make sure you talk to your guardians or parents, wapeleke hospitali if you feel anything. It's not a crime to get sick. Hizi vitu najua at this age, I know you're not sexually active, si ndio? Si amna boyfriend na girlfriends? Mnasoma? Yes. So make sure you abstain. Wacha ikuwe UTI ulipata ulitoa kwa choo, sawa? Or just from being... And another thing, make sure mkiwa shule, mkiosha your innerwears, mnanika kwa jua, sawa? And wash your towels and make sure your towel is dry. Mwanike kwa jua, ama zitaibiwa? Muongee na principal vizuri, msiibiwe panties. Now don't wear damp panties. Hiyo inaika a good environment for the bacteria to live in. Sawa. Anything else I'm forgetting? Nani ako na swali? And also I would advise, I'm just doing a general msijali mbona haiko I just wanted to do an interactive session, but ni kama you're not ready. Nyinyi mnacheka tu. Hamtaki kujibu maswali. About hygiene as well, when you cough or when you have a flu, make sure you don't cough carelessly. You cover your mouth, whatever tissue you've used. Uitupe kwa dustbin. And what else? We also have vaccinations for flus, by the way. Make sure mmepelekwa for influenza vaccines. It's given every year. Sawa sawa. I'm being reminded. Mki susu. Mtumie tissue. Sawa. Females, okay, me naambiwa. Well, let me just say it plainly. I'm an ass, so I tend not to hide so many things. I don't get embarrassed talking about these things. Wanaume wanaambiwa wanashake or something. For females, wananga shida mingi sana. So for females, please, utumie tissue. Ama wipes. Flashable though, utumie wipes. But you wipe from front to back, not back to front. Sawa. Mnafanyanga aje? Wipe from front to back. That's where you don't carry the bacteria that's uko nyuma, that's kwenye uko nyuma, ulete mbele. Sawa. Wipe from front to back. Sawa sawa. On personal hygiene as well, mkishaoga, I know wengine wako na, there's a sweat that's hormonal. Wengine wana sweat too. Like even after taking a shower, bado wana sweat, you'll feel the odor and everything. I would advise, if you can afford roll-on, jaribu mpake roll-on. Sawa. It will actually boost your confidence. Ukiamka umeshaoga unanuka fresh. Hata kama una vibes, mtu tu akipita kando yako na unanukia vizuri, they'll just literally smile at you. So to boost your confidence and to be at peace, please make sure you are clean and you smell fresh, and your general appearance, it matters a lot. Make sure you also wash your hair, you clean your nails, and you change pads Usikae na pad moja the whole day for the females when you new periods. Usikae na pad moja the whole day. You utanuka. Maybe we utafeel, but your friends will feel it. Sawa. Any questions? Take questions. She'll take the questions.
My question is, when you're talking about applying Laurents, sometimes you can apply it, but you are itch, you feel itch. What should you do about it?
Okay, listen. Shh, kidogo tu. Ati, sometimes you can apply it, but then you feel itchy. The brand, you see, if you buy a cheap thing, automatically, it's going to, unaona watu wa beba, malima and stuff. You see, they don't sell standard things, mostly. So you try to identify something that works with you. Tuseme wewe ukitumia Rexona, you itch. But then, maybe if you use Nivea, it's just good for you. Or rather, enda uone dermatologist, maybe skin yako tu ndio iko na issue. Yeah, it's that. It's not you, it's whatever you're using. Sawa. Yeah, any other question?
Why is it so important to use the tissue every time you visit the washroom?
Okay. Okay, please keep quiet. You see, for instance, you just went to the loo, alafu ukakojoa na ukava panty, right? How do you feel after? You see, it's not like yo mkojo yote imeenda, mkojo ingine inabaki and it got, yani inabaki kwa panty, so it sucks. So like during the day, maybe when it's sunny and you're sweating, unanuka mkojo in a way. Like you smell down there, you're itchy, you feel uncomfortable. So using your tissue inafanya you dry, like you're dry down there. You get? So when you're dry and your pant is dry, I think there's no dampness in it, cause a room for infection or something like that. Do you get me? So it's important. And then the tissue you're using also matters. So make sure tissue yako siti unatumia na particles zingine zinabaki. You just check yourself. Take your time. Ni important. So take your time. Sawa. Any other question?
Yes, I'm done. For me, I may wish to know UTI in full.
Nini nyamazeni, ama kuna mtu anajua UTI in full? Kuna mtu? Okay, apewe microphone at least explainie. Unajua si ndio?
UTI in full is a urinary tract infection. Urinary. Hey.
Okay.
Urinary tract infection.
Yeah, he's right. It's urinary tract infection. Ama ulitaka another explanation? Any other question? Kama kuna swali lingine, please feel free. Any comments? Additions, subtractions? Mko poa, si ndio? Or rather if you're not comfortable, you can just find us and ask. Sawa. Yeah.
Don't go anywhere.
Hello. You are fearing your fellow scholars. Ajani fellow scholars. But wamesoma just a few years ago. Talk to them. So see that their language is language that you guys understand. Ama mataka Mr. Java ndo akuja waambie maneno hii. Talk to them. All in all, what is important is that your health is your wealth. All right? Your health is your wealth. Number 2, maneno ya personal hygiene is very, very important because they have just said it in simple terms that even you using panties, kama ni wet, utapata infections. And what is very important, maybe they didn't talk about it, the urinary system for a lady is a little bit short. All right? Because it's short, there is possibility of getting infection many, many times. For a man, it's long. Don't ask me why it is long. All right? But by the time bacteria or any organism reaches the bladder, it has gone through a system. All right? And in the process, unapata when you go excrete, ukienda kukojoa, you remove the bacteria. But for a lady, it's very short. Inatoka tu pap inaingia tu kwa bladder, and that's the reason why you get frequent urinary tract infections. You have what you call candidiasis, the thing that she was talking about, the whitish discharge with some little bit of itchiness. So kindly, friends, musieke your panties under your bed. Inakauka under the bed. Itakauka, yes, but itakuwa na a lot of bacteria, fungi, and all those things. Air dry them. Last questions for my peoples here. Last question. There's a question there. Come in, fanya chukua hii. Oh, sawa.
For me, I have a question about P2. So, the question is, how comes a person become pregnant and yet he has taken the P2? And how many times? How many times does a person is supposed to take the P2 per year? Thank you.
That was a bad experience.
Ngoja tukide. Acha nimjibu. Namjibu tu how many times. Okay, nyamazeni, I'm just, amazed on how unaulizia P2 at this age, but I understand. So P2, okay, but focus kwa masomo aside from whatever I'm going to tell you. They say family planning is not 100%, like it work 100%. You get. We've taken a lot of P2s and P2. Are you getting? How many times are you supposed to take P2? Twice in a year. Si ati in a month, uzikule kama sijui sweetie. Twice. Sawa.
And then P2 inaweza bounce pia, depending on how you took it. It's supposed to be taken within 72 hours. Maybe alimeza after 72 hours. Because I know you're asking because it's something you've seen, sindio? Ni kitu Maybe alisikia. Don't laugh. P2 is supposed to be taken within 72 hours. Probably alimeza after 72 hours. Sawa? Yes.
That's not a good question for this forum, but it was a question. What we should know is that P2 is an hormonal therapy. It is an emergency. It's going to interfere with the hormones in your body. All right? So if it's taken many times, you're going to have what you call hormonal imbalance. And that's the reason. Number 2, the only persons who are allowed to even to think about it, the people who are wearing suits with me here and the people in front here. All right?